We're excited to be on the campus of Savannah State University today as we continue our discussion with some of the professors and the movers and shakers here on this beautiful campus. I'm honored to have Dr. Dion Hoskins Brown with us, who is the director of NOAA programs as well as a professor here. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I'm so happy to talk with you.
And we're so excited always about this marine sciences program. You all have been around for a long time, and you're probably one of the best kept secrets on campus.
Yes, but we're trying to make sure that secret gets out more and more.
Yeah. Tell us about exactly what you all do from day to day.
Well, you know, it's a diverse group of researchers and scientists and professors who are doing work on anything from ocean chemistry and acidification to bioacoustics to habitat and oysters like I work on to marine mammals. And often you see our faculty talking to the public and talking to our natural resource managers when there's a stranding. So we just really go everywhere from biology to ecology to paleogeology. It's really a diverse group, and we consider ourselves really a family.
Yes.
That work with students and get them from where they come to us to where they want to be, all doing the best science that they can possibly do.
Well, you know, you mentioned that you work with the oysters. You know, we're all excited about oysters in the coastal empire and low country, and we're seeing this beautiful background.
Absolutely.
What exactly do you do, or is your work doing to making sure that the health is preserved?
So I really look at oysters from two different points of view, and often I talk with students about whether they're interested in the environment or whether they're interested in the organism, and so we look at it in both ways. I've had students in my lab look at the health of oysters relative to whether or not they're taking in microplastics as they're filter feeding, but we also look at oysters as habitat for environmental stabilization, shoreline stabilization, living shorelines, and so the students that I'm working with now are looking more as habitats, oyster reefs as habitat, and oyster reefs as mechanisms to help stabilize the coast and, you know, protect us from the impacts of sea level rise. So they're doing that by getting on the oyster reef, but we also have 3 drone pilots in my laboratory, and so we also are looking at them monitoring using uncrewed air systems.
Wow, that is amazing. And you also have students at every level in your program.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, we have littles, you know, we have our marine science camp that people are really excited about, and that's very close to my heart. It started in 2007, really from another faculty member coming to me on the sidewalk and saying, "How come you don't have anything for little kids?" And I was like, I don't have an answer.
Right.
So when the next opportunity came and NOAA was looking to enhance K through 12 education as part of the programming that we do here, we took the opportunity to get the funding. And so now we have little people come in the summer, but even, you know, during the middle of the year, we have partnerships with middle schools and high schools here. Elementary schools will come out and visit our programming, visit our program and learn about the environment. So we work with all ages through our formal programming through our camp, but also our informal programming, and so it's really a broad swath of students. We've had high school interns, we have college level interns that do research during the summer, and of course everybody knows about our grad program. It's been around since 2001.
It's renowned. I'd like you to just brag a little bit.
It absolutely is renowned, and you know, it started from, you know, we started from a small seed in 1973. Dr. Margaret Robinson had this idea that there ought to be a degree program, and then there was the bachelor's program in 1979, and then in 2001 we got the master's program, and we are the largest producer of African American graduate students in marine sciences in the country. And we compete neck and neck with Hampton University, but we're winning. And what that means for us is that there are Savannah State University graduates all around the country and in other parts of the world doing excellent science, managing resources and executing policy, all based on what they learned right here. And that makes me immensely proud as a faculty member and as a graduate.
Well, that is really wonderful, and it's interesting too to see that, you know, we see what you do, we hear about what you do, but we don't realize how important often that this is to all of our lives. So to see that you all have people from every walk of life, from the tiniest elementary or middle school child all the way up to a college student, this is ingrained in them now.
Yeah. I mean, it's really important because marine science is about where we live as coastal citizens. It's about what we eat. It's central to our foodways. And so anytime I get to talk to someone who says, oh, they're not really interested in marine science, I ask them what they like to eat. And I'm usually able to find a connection to something that's important to them in that way, even if they don't think they're interested in coastal ecology.
Remind everyone why it's so important for us to take an interest and do our part when it comes to the coastal waterways and to the environment.
Well, you know, certainly it goes to the quality of the foods that we eat, but also taking care of our waterways also makes us resilient to coastal challenges that we experience with extreme weather. And so we know we shouldn't pollute because that finds its way into the ecosystems that are important to us and into the animals that are important to us. But it's also important because, you know, our economy really depends upon our coastal environment in many ways. You know, we enjoy it as coastal citizens, we enjoy it as coastal consumers, that those of us who eat seafood are consuming this seafood. Our fishermen and our shrimpers rely on it for their livelihoods. But you know, there's also people who come from all around the world who want to experience this environment, and so our tourism relies upon it. So there are lots of different ways, whether you are not necessarily an outside person, whether you don't necessarily want to be out in the marine environment, there are other reasons to be a good steward.
Well, this program has been around, as you mentioned, for a very long time. You've been a part of it for a long time.
I have.
Talk about just what you've seen with the changes and the growth here.
I can't be more proud of the growth that I've seen. You know, I came here as a freshman, and I'm not ashamed to say in 1988, there were 2 faculty in 1 building teaching 13 students to be marine biologists. And from that, we've grown to 22 graduate students right now in our master's program. Our master's program has expanded from being a thesis-based research program to also having a professional non-thesis track, because we understand the need for a greater degree of competencies. Not everyone's going to be a researcher. Some people are going to be environmental lawyers or policymakers, and so we've expanded that program to accommodate all of those talents that we want to grow. We've got over 107 undergraduate majors from all around the world learning about marine science under what used to be 2 faculty. Now we're at 8 faculty and plus several professional staff. When I was a student, there was kind of 1.5 boats, 1 boat that worked really well and 1 that sort of worked. And now we're at 4 vessels and more, and a whole fleet of kayaks that we use for research and for recreation. It's been extraordinary to see. It really has been.
That is absolutely wonderful. Is there anything else you would like people to know about marine sciences here at Savannah State?
That it, like you said, it is the best kept secret that we're trying to just burst wide open for everyone to know that there's something for you in marine sciences, whether you want to be knee-deep in water or whether you want to be, you know, sitting in an air-conditioned laboratory. There's all kinds of research, all kinds of questions to ask about how we interact with the marine environment, how we interact with people and cultures that are associated with the coastal environment, and we just say, come on out.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And we look forward to hearing about all the other successful things you all are doing here day to day.
Thanks so much, Don.
You're welcome.